Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So today I'm gonna tell you what in my opinion is the worst challenging in okay, no. I'm trying way too much to be a good Etoh content creator. Not really good, I guess, just a popular one. So yeah, my next three videos are gonna be based about some ideas that YouTube gave me. And so today we're doing Etoh honest reviews, Tower of Difficulty chart. Oh yeah! So this tower's hidden around here, where basically just go down here to the psychologically unsafe towers. Then you see this glue part, go against it and press F. And then you're in this pretty cool room, I guess. And here we have the most famous first SC, I guess, and one of the most famous towers in this game. So yeah, today I'm gonna review this. So this tower, when it had some music, I guess, because now they remove every single song in this entire tower. Uh, used to have a pretty decent soundtrack, but we're just gonna make a recap real quick of the tower. So everything starts on the easy floor, of course, and you might already notice by now that every single floor represents a difficulty on the difficulty chart, which is why this tower is named after it. So basically, this tower tries to make easy gameplay at floor 1, then medium gameplay at floor 2, hard gameplay at floor 3, and so on. Just that on floor 8, extreme and insane are placed in the same spot, since there are only since there are 11 difficulties and a tower can only have 10 floors. So basically, extreme and insane save themselves for space. Are together in a floor. Okay, yeah, I'm terrible at English, I guess. Man, uh, am I stupid or is it slightly off center? I don't know. Maybe it's due to the higher. But yeah, this tower, the only it's supposed to be like that it basically just gets harder on every floor, and that works for the second half mostly. But the bad thing is just that the difficulties are not accurate, and some of the gameplay on the later floors it's questionable to say the least. I mean, uh floor 10 is literally just thin studs, and it's still easier than floor 8 and floor 9. And yeah, floor 9, the terrifying floor, is easier than the catastrophic floor. Of course, that floor isn't really catastrophic, floor 10. And floor 9 is one of the few floors that are actually accurate difficulty. Floor 1, 2, and 5, as well as I guess 9 have accurate difficulty. All of the others are either above or below. For insane, it's pretty hard to say since the gameplay is mostly extreme. But again, it shares a floor with insane and extreme, so it's partially true, I guess. But yeah, the recap is basically like that. You're not gonna struggle up until floor 7, since floor 6 has a net, which is I guess still a mentions worthy thing. You know, I might even get to floor 6. I also played the classic version live for 10 minutes. Yeah, that job is a huge difficulty spike, to be honest. I felt that a few times. You know, this is really a great tower if you're trying to do this as your first SC, I guess. But I would not really recommend it. It's a good and easy tower, I guess, for a first RAM. But it's definitely not gonna be good for your skill, I guess, since doing something that's a bit more balanced than this will make you more respected, I guess, since there are definitely a few towers, definitely a few people who say that this isn't a real SC. It should still be insane, but you're not really a SC player if you did this as your first tower, since there are only 4 floors, which are genuinely hard. and the rest is like below intent, below Ramoss's gameplay. It's pretty hard to say if floor 6 is REM or intense, but I would say it's REM. But yeah, this tower was also like a collab between Etoh, Chloe, and some other random person, which I forgot their name. So yeah, this tower is pretty decent, I guess. And you know, it's a revamp of Tower Difficulty Chart Classic. And to be honest, yeah, this revamp was definitely needed. Even though I still don't think that this is like, to be honest, like a really good tower. It's definitely better than whatever the hell that old thing was. Because if one thing is true, then like, okay, why am I failing literally the challenging floor? Like, that's insane. What? But yeah, this tower is pretty cool. So yeah, let's just talk about a bit of the gameplay. The gameplay is definitely like client object based, but you know, most towers are like rap based around this difficulty and above. I mean, between like insane and catastrophic, you're not seeing that many here non-client object based towers, since especially in insane and extreme there are just a ton of towers which are mostly rap based, and this tower really doesn't lean that much into it, which is pretty unfortunate actually, since if you know if you like get really good at raps, then you really won't have that big of a problem until like catastrophic. Okay, that does not mean that you're like gonna do this like flawlessly, since there's still like a ton of terrifying towers. Basically, I reduces a client object, but like they're mostly rap based. Like 2IM, the difficulty mostly just comes from awkward gameplay and raps, especially the raps, which kind of makes it a bit of a harder thing. And TFN also just has some pretty terrible client object gameplay. But I would definitely not recommend this as a first SC, unless but as a second or third. Since this one is pretty easy, and if you want to do this as your second or third SC, go ahead. Even though I'm not an SC player, I can definitely see why this could be kind of problematic doing this as your first SC, since then you're not gonna be like I guess prepared for balanced gameplay, and there are a lot more modern towers which are balanced than classic unbalanced towers, unless you're playing in the Eternal Abyss, which okay, then it makes sense since the gameplay response. Okay, we made it onto the intense floor, I guess. But yeah, this gameplay is pretty unique, I guess. I mean, it's pretty hard to explain. It's just like in this weird middle stage of tower. Okay, I guess I did not do the skip. But yeah, like this tower is just like in an awkward middle stage of classic and modern towers. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, you can do the skip, which is pretty cool. It might take you a few attempts. Okay, why can't I do that? But yeah, basically, yeah, the soul crushing floors and the two below are basically on here. But yeah, that's it basically with the gameplay. It just is a lot more like around remorseless and insane. It's mostly conveyor based, so you better be good with these two, and like it also has a lot of glitches, especially in Tensor Remorses are filled with events clips and corner clips, so you better practice. I guess these are not that hard, they're rather easy than anything. Nice. Okay, yeah, that was kind of a bit of an accident, I guess. What? I guess, yeah, that exists. So let's just talk about the design real quick. I guess this tower got like some pretty decent design first. I guess this was like made in 2020, so it's pretty okay design, I guess. I mean, I really like the transparency playing with the challenging thing on the challenging floor with and on this intense floor with the kill breaks. It definitely gives this a cool vibe, I guess. But this still got like a few Z fighting issues, if I remember correctly. They are like, or at least they used to be. But yeah, this is pretty cool, I guess. So yeah, let's talk about the creativity. So this tower is like extremely creative, since it's inspired difficulty chart obbies, which are like the most popular type of obby games, besides towers, since they've recently got a big spike of popularity due to slab tower, which is luckily starting to decrease, and a few players are going into Etoh. And if you're one of these people, then man, you've done pretty good progress in your life, I guess. Okay, I'm just kidding. I guess not. If you're playing slab tower in the grade 26, then that you might have a problem. I said might. It does not mean you have, but you could have a problem. So I recommend that you get that checked out. So let me just real quick do this. Boom. Yeah, floor 7 and 8 have like some really bad conveyor gameplay. No! Why did I press R, man? Anyway, yeah. Let's just get onto the rankings real quick. So gameplay will get like a 6 out of 10. To be honest, the gameplay in the earlier floors is definitely better than the one on the later floors. Definitely like around the SC difficulty, like the gameplay gets really bad. Around like where the conveyors get used a lot more. Remorseless and catastrophic are just straight up torture because they're hard, and clearly the creators were not that good at making gameplay around these difficulties for some reason, even though like insane and remorseless, it's like one of the difficulties where you have the most freedom in terms of building. I guess terrifying too, if you kind of have an idea how terrifying gameplay looks like. Catastrophic, I guess, is a bit hard and extreme, since these difficulties are like pretty in a like weird spot. They're like next to like the most famous SC difficulties. Even though catastrophic is like the hardest difficulty, most players first of all can't even beat these, and second of all, basically every kata is shit. I don't even think there's a good kata in Etoh that's like not flawed in gameplay. Because of course they're like good looking towers, I guess. But yeah, 5 out of 10 just because of the gameplay. It's pretty meh. And let's continue with the design. So the design is pretty nice. It definitely gets better around the later. I guess not. It's like a pretty hard thing to say. It's like randomly you just get some pretty cool spikes. Like this challenging floor is really good design, to be honest. So yeah, I will be giving it a 7 out of 10, you know. Feeling nice. And creativity, yeah man, this is like the difficulty chart tower. Of course this will get 10 out of 10 in terms of creativity. I mean, this inspired one of the biggest obbying trends of all time. So we will have a 23 out of 30, which is pretty good. This is around at the second place of the rankings that are tied with 2IE, Tuts, and one random avatar, I forgot. No, I think that's it, like 24 to 30. So yeah, this is a pretty good tower. So that's it basically for this video. And I just did this review quickly because I guess YouTube recommended it to me. So yeah, see you next time, man. Bye, I guess.